Okay, I'm gonna get in. Got another request here for a walkthrough on another map, and I'm not gonna actually play through it because I'm too high level now. So playing through wouldn't really help much. Wouldn't really say much. But I will talk through it. Ooh, I've got some diamond safes to open. Yeah, you can see my guys are all pretty high level, 8, 10. I've got some 11s. Charlie, there's 11. Some of my rares are level 7. Anyway, if I actually play through the map, you probably won't learn much because it'll just should just crush it. But I can open it up, and it's Hellview, if I recall correctly. By the way, I appreciate requests for things to do. I'm as far through the game as I can get now without. I think I've covered everything that I'm currently on. So if there's requests for older stuff, I don't mind popping in and doing requests. And having a request gives me something to shoot for. So I do appreciate it. All right, so this map, you can do it a couple different ways. I tend to come at this from the front. So dealing with that coiler is the first step for me usually. But it's actually not that bad if you come from the back either. Then you have to deal with these things back here. So you kind of have to take your choices. And when you approach this map, you want to approach it kind of like you do every other map. Which is to say, look for the roles that you need for each of your guys and make sure that you're filling something, that you're filling that role. So with a coiler here and with orbs back here, you're going to need some kind of a tank. That's a given. With potatoes, you need somebody who's got some AoE, somebody who can do lots of damage to lots of minions at the same time. And then with the hover cannon, you need somebody that can deal with the hover cannon. So you need a swarm that can shoot that hover cannon. So there's some swarms that won't do you any good. So Bombot won't do you any good. He'll run right past it. Same for Pee-wee. She's going to run right past it. Airbot is good. Zip Zap is good. If you're lucky enough to have Slapshot will work. Of course, Jane. But you see, I've got 3 right here. So if I was going to go in and do this map several times, that swarm spot would be held by these 3 each time. Zip Zap, Jane, and Airbot. Then I would have to figure out how to do it the last time. And the last time you might want to consider, you could maybe have Honey fill that spot. You could maybe have Buzz fill that spot. They both have, her bees can take it on, and his little flying drones can take it on. So that's an option. And then, depending on the layout, you might even be able to pull it off with Trans Blam. If you can hit something close enough to the hover tower that the explosion catches the hover tower, it'll stun it, and then of course your little biker dudes will jump out and blast the hover cannon. So that's kind of it. So I tend to deal with this from the front first. I send in a tank, and then I send in somebody behind it, my DPS behind it, to shoot it. I forgot to mention DPS. You always got to take some DPS, and range DPS is the best. Outback is your best bet. After Outback, Honey, maybe Mittens. And I should mention, particularly on this map, you need DPS because of the shield generator. If you can't get through the shields fast enough, and they do regenerate over time, then you'll run out of time. So if you're having a hard time getting 3 stars, probably it means you don't have enough DPS. So if I were looking to improve my artifacts on any one particular person, it would be to get that DPS in there. So if you happen to have Mittens and you have her spec like I do for health, because I typically tend to use her to hold off invading goons, you could try switching her over and giving her more damage. I've got 2 healths and a radius here. Like I said, I use her to take out mobs. So, but you need somebody that can stand back behind your tank far enough to take out the coiler. Maybe you could do it with Transplam. If you're paying attention, you can sort of chain stun that thing to take it out. So take out the coiler first, then move your guys in and take out, come in from the side if you can, and take out one of the hover cannons. So you have an open side here, and possibly you can even get the shield generator down, and then you can come in and get that last tower. Now, if you're coming from the back, what I like to do is save up 10 goo and send one of your swarmers in on the corner just to pull the whatever charge that Alien Orbs has, to pull that off that thing, and get in there. I might try this with a combination of an AOE guy like Boomer or Madam, and a tank like Kaiju or Ape to get in there. The only tricky part is the drone cloner is going to come out, and you need somebody that can shoot behind you. So you got to get some DPS back there, or somebody that can shoot in the air to take out the drone cloner. You could also try just bringing in Jane and Outback to take that out. They're going to have to get through the wall first, which is kind of why I like to recommend Boomer back there. But what I wouldn't do is I wouldn't try to do everything all at once. You want to either come in from the front first, which means taking out this and then one of the cannons, and then you see you're inside the main gate here, or come in from the back and work your way from the back, and then you probably won't have to deal with the coiler at all. So pick whatever seems to work easier for you, I like the front. Like I said, the front seems less defended. I've got 3 towers to deal with in the front, and maybe the potatoes occasionally. But once you've got a guy in the front here working on this front building with some AOE, like if I've taken out this hover cannon and I've got Boomer or Madam in here pounding away on this front star building, the potatoes really aren't much of a concern. They'll get caught in whatever AOE blast you've got there. You're probably also taking out the shield generator at the same time. Doc would do the same thing. Sergio would do the same thing, and I call him Doc because he looks like Doc Brown. He would take out potatoes as well. Potatoes aren't really a big concern here. They're going to be annoying. They might pull away airbots or whatever that are trying to do their work. So anyhow, I probably over-explained it, but it's actually not that difficult. This is not one that I consider particularly tricky. But again, if you're running out of time, it's because you don't have enough DPS on the board. So if you're bringing AOE, make sure that your AOE is spec for damage. Madam over Boomer, unless you have your Boomer spec for damage. I don't. Just don't neglect the DPS. Otherwise, the shield generators are going to come back so fast that it'll take forever to get through your hover cannon. So swarm the hover cannon, put good DPS behind it. That'll let you take it down, and then you're in the gate. Once you're inside, it's all over. So good luck.